central coast of New South Wales, Australia, it's the #1 podcast for the X-Men animated series. This is Generation X-Men with Bender and Brooksey.
All right, we're up to Marvel movie news, and we're going to be talking about Avengers Infinity War. Now, I'm either going to edit this out and make its own video or keep it in for a really long episode of Generation X-Men. Either way, we'll be talking about Avengers Infinity War. Now, Brooksy.
And of course, spoilers.
Yes, spoilers, man. What are you talking about? If you haven't seen it already, what the hell you been doing?
Here's the one that's not a spoiler. Go watch it. Done.
In Australia, it was school holidays, so there should be no excuse that you haven't seen it already. In the States, I know Seppo Steve hasn't seen it yet.
You idiot.
But he's going to see it on the weekend, and assuming when this goes out, the weekend will be over, and he'll be able to listen, depending if he's current or not. But everybody, we're talking spoilers, talking Avengers, Infinity War. Brooksy, tell me about your experience, because we didn't see it together. I saw it in my break at work. There was a chance. I thought, oh, well, I've finished it this time. I've got a 3-hour break, because I was doing a split shift. Boring little fact about that. So I went and saw Infinity War. It might have been the second or third day it came out. School holidays.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
It's 12:50.
So it come out on the Wednesday.
Okay, Wednesday. I went and saw it, I think, Friday.
Right.
And Friday, midday, I had nearly the whole cinema to myself.
Oh, yeah?
It's me and maybe 5 other people.
Wow.
Those 5 people were very noisy, eating popcorn people.
Well, we were at the first VMAX session.
Yeah.
That was on the Wednesday. It was like 9:30 or 10:30, whatever it was. And, it was packed.
I imagine it would be chockers.
It was full, yeah. So it was different for me. There was a lot of fans in there.
Yeah.
So that was a bit different. I'm not used to that, so that was good. It was good and bad, yeah, a couple of things. But yeah, the movie is awesome.
The movie is awesome. It's awesome for you, was it?
Yes.
So, with Infinity War, the one preceding it was Thor. It was not Thor Ragnarok. It was Black Panther, and that did spectacular box office numbers. Yeah. Infinity War is doing probably even better.
Yes, it is doing better.
And if you're on Facebook or any sort of social media, you can only see Avengers breaking box office records, smashing box office records. Everyone's going to see it. It's nuts. It's crazy.
It made what Justice League made in 4 days.
Well, Justice League didn't have 10 years of build-up is what...
well, whose fault's that?
Well, it's probably Warner Brothers' fault.
Yes.
But straight off the bat, everyone's saying this is the moment we've been waiting for 10 years. Don't they say that every Avengers movie?
Yeah, they do.
Because I thought, I've heard that before. And then I looked at some old Avengers TV spots for the first Avengers in 2012 or whatever. This is the moment we've been building to since 2008. They say it every time. But this is I'd say this is the moment they've been building to since the introduction of Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Because they're the first other big sort of team. They're like Avengers of their own.
Yep.
So this is the first time Avengers are going to be meeting the Guardians of the Galaxy. I'd say that is the big crossover, not the rest of them, because the rest of them meet up nearly every movie. I mean, the Falcon was in... is his name Falcon?
Yeah, his co-name's Falcon.
So Falcon was in Ant-Man. So... and everyone was in Civil War. So I don't think it's a big deal when you see everybody together because...
Falcon came in, what's it called?
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier, that's it.
And this was the big hype and talking up Thanos. Oh, and the reviews are saying, he's the best villain ever. I mean, what's the competition? Of course he's got to be the best villain ever because the rest of them are rubbish. I mean, who's the bad guy in Civil War? I mean, all the fans will know, but I think general audience couldn't tell me who the hell the bad guy was in Civil War. And all these other disposable villains. And saying that Thanos is the best ever, it's only because he is the only one ever to really make a lasting impact.
Yeah, it hasn't been like the X-Men movies where it's villain run, where the villains are the main thing, like Apocalypse. And
that's right, yeah. But, I mean... For me, this one was a very fun movie. I mean, I was enjoying it. I was on board, but I think it's also one of the movies where I thought from Civil War on, they're not trying to explain what happened before. There's no previously on Marvel Cinematic Universe. They just chuck you straight in, and if you're not current, I don't think you're going to be able to follow who's this guy, who's this guy, who's this guy? Because the start of the movie, it starts with Thor's ship invaded with Thanos, and everybody's dead.
It's straight off the back of the Ragnarok post-credit scene.
That's right, yeah.
It's like 5 minutes later.
Yeah, for poor Thor and his people, they don't get any rest.
The Asgardians.
Asgardians just got their planet blown up, and now Thanos is under siege. We won't break down the movie, but
we'll break down parts.
We'll break down parts of it. But I'll ask, what did you think of Thanos in this movie? How'd you like him?
Yeah, I liked him. He seemed to have that strong presence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he didn't need to do a heap of like big things to. His presence seemed to be bad. I think they did that well.
Mm. And everyone's talking about how they built him up so well. I disagree with that as well. In the previous one, he's only ever been sitting down and talking, and I don't know if that's him being built up. I think he was building himself up in this movie.
During the movie,
During
this
movie, this was his build-up. Everything else, I think, was just a teaser because he was just sitting down doing anything. And straight off the bat, he's a badass because he's got Josh Brolin's voice, and they didn't do a lot of production sound mixing on his voice to make him sound big or gurgly or anything like that. He's just got this cool sort of pack-a-day smoking sort of sound to him. I hope they remember you. And it's like, oh, man, Thanos. And to show off his strength, Hulk comes in there and starts laying the smack down on him. And his goons are hanging back, his Knights of Ren, or whatever they're called.
Squidward.
The Squidward, the big dude with the axe, and the psychic lady and whatever. His little Suicide Squad are hanging back. And I thought, why aren't they jumping in? But Thanos just puts the guns up.
Yep.
And he starts doing straight boxing stuff. And starts intercepting Hulk and dodging punches, countering punches. Bop. Down goes Hulk. Down for the count. It's like Ali and George Foreman is just standing over him. And I thought that was cool because guys that as big as Hulk and Thanos, you don't see them with technique.
No.
They've just got that raw strength. But bloody Thanos, when he put the guns up, the guard up, and he's doing some Mike Tyson shit and hitting those counters, like, I've never seen the big dude do this before. And he's knocked the big green boy out for the rest of the movie. Hulk didn't want none. He's famously got no, and Banner's got like Hulk performance anxiety. He just can't beat a Hulk anymore. So I thought that was pretty cool to kick us off with.
Yeah, so they said first 5 minutes going to show you how badass he is. Do you think that lived up to it?
I think so, yes.
So he kills Heimdall.
Heimdall's goner.
Kills Loki.
Loki's a goner.
First 5 minutes, and then half of Asgardians.
Half Asgardian, and knocks out the Hulk.
Is it half of the Asgardians?
They said later on the thing, Thor's explaining, well, he did this to my people and half of Asgard is destroyed. Where'd the other half go? Did they go into the escape pods?
Yeah, same as the Valkyrie.
And Valkyrie's gone.
And Korg and Meek.
Korg better be surviving this.
Yeah.
Korg better be surviving this. He's everyone's new favourite.
We did a rewatch of Ragnarok like yesterday, and what I did notice...
Weird, I watched it yesterday too.
What I did notice was when they were flying at the end there, the Grandmaster's ship was on top of their ship.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'm like, oh, well, they didn't mention that, so maybe that might be a bit later. Like, oh yeah, they just jumped on that ship like 10 minutes before we ran into Thanos.
I don't think you'd fit half of Asgard on the orgy ship, though. You'd get about, I don't know, 30, 50 if you squeezed them on there, and Korg have to be in the orgy room or something. But, yeah.
And then they skipped the whole Nova Corps. Yeah. Were you happy with that?
I was fine with that. With the Stones, they skipped the Nova Corps. Who else they skip? The Collector.
The Reality Stone, yeah. You don't know what happened to the Collector.
Yeah. But they did that in a really clever way.
Yeah, that was good, I thought. I like that scene.
Tick for Thanos being smart because it goes against expectation. Think, they've arrived just in time to see Thanos with his foot on the throat. Where's the Reality Stone? They do this, do that, and Gamora thinks she kills Thanos, and then the red stuff goes around. He's changed reality. He's already been there.
And you think Drax and them are dead as well. You're like, whoa, he's gone already too. Holy shit. There's a lot of people dying pretty quick in this movie.
Yeah, but I thought that was a real clever move for the writers, the director, and Thanos as well, because so many times you see the hero sneaking in on the big bad when he's about to do something integral to the plot. But he's used the Reality Stone. He's already done it, and he's faking them out. So, Thanos is super smart, and he's super strong. He's punked everybody, and But skipped ahead there. Other stuff that's happened so far. Do you remember who you predicted was going to die in the previous.
I remember you predicted, and all I said was it's going to be over that.
You were correct. I predicted Vision, Loki, and Stark to be a goner.
Right.
I was 2 for 3.
Yeah.
But if including all the other dead motherfuckers, I was super wrong.
Well, the other thing I noticed was the soundtrack. There was only one song in the entire movie was when the Guardians got introduced.
Rubber Band Man.
Rubber Band Man by the Spinners. Yeah, so I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, because to be truthful, they couldn't afford any other songs. They've got everybody there. So salary budgets would have been massive.
Yep.
CGI budgets would have been massive.
Oh, yeah.
And depending on how many actual locations they shot on, those budgets would have been massive. So to only have 2 songs in there is lucky. That would have been like Kevin Feige is like, all right, we're up to the songs. How much money do we have left? We've got 20. 20 what? Enough for 20 songs? No, 20,000. We can get one song. Oh, shit. Well, make it a Guardian song, which I think is a very good use of Rubber Band Man because you're in space and then the song starts playing. So, we know who's showing up. It's the boys.
And it just says space. That was cool.
Do you like that they went to a normal size font when the going wherever they are, as opposed to Civil War, and it's like Kentucky, and the subtitles the size of the screen, unnecessarily so.
So, what did you think of the comedy through the movie?
See, my bit was like this is a very serious movie, and they've got what I call the Marvel diffuser. Right. There's a moment of seriousness followed by you can almost hear the of the record scratch, like in the trailer, like Stan Morris is the but this time is this. Yep. That always happens in a Marvel movie, like the scene where Gamora and Peter Quill, Star-Lord are talking, promise you'll kill me, blah, 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 I will. They look like they're about to kiss, and then they look over, and it's Drax just standing there watching them. They're necessary in these films, because the crowds love them. Yep. The 5 people who were at the back behind me laughed their ass off when Drax was there. Is that the same?
This is what I was saying. So it was so noisy when they were laughing at that. You missed the second joke because you know how there's always that backup joke.
Yeah.
When you're watching it at home, so that's what's going to be good for me in a rewatch that I can get these jokes the second time. Oh, this is great.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of the record stop. Right. What would you call that? The record pause. The Marvel pause. Scratch, the diffuser. Yeah. I'm not a fan of those because they use them too much. Each of these scenes that happen, they're supposed to add weight to the characters' arcs and really build up the story and the sort of the stakes. But every time that there's a serious moment like that, I swear every single time, except for one, which is really cool, which we'll talk about later, they always have the Marvel diffuser. The other big moment, the big dramatic moment was, and my favourite moment of the movie, is when Thanos kills Gamora.
All right,
I thought that was really cool because remember how we thought was it the Soul Stone?
Yeah, there was so many different things about what's going to be.
Heimdall's
Heimdall,
eyes.
Yeah.
That's what I immediately thought when Heimdall was killed. Oh, he's going to get the Soul Stone straight away because Brooksey says his eyes. Like, oh, it's not his eyes. And everyone's saying, oh, it's this, it's that, it's whatever. But I thought... And another thing, when he kills Gamora, we see Red Skull again.
Yeah.
And this time he's called the Watcher or the Guardian or whatever he is. Not voiced by Hugo Weaving, which I checked, which I was a little bit disappointed in because...
Yeah, because I didn't pick that when they're doing his voice. It wasn't Hugo Weaving, so I didn't...
You'd think you'd know straight away.
It didn't click, yeah.
You'd think you'd know that strong German Agent Smith straight away. Oh, well, that's bloody Red Skull under there. And then it's not until you see his face that you think, oh, it's Red Skull. He sounds a bit off.
So yeah, I did enjoy that though. They bring back Red Skull. Yeah, because he did just get taken up by a Tesseract.
Yeah, that's what a lot of theories that I was talking to friends about. It's like, yeah, he's not dead. Red Skull's coming back. He's not dead.
But no one was talking about him for this movie.
No, not at all.
That many people already in it.
Yeah. Well, I suppose they could afford to put him in there because he looked a little bit CG-ish, and they didn't have to pay Hugo Weaving to do a recording session in Sydney or whatever, or come and put the makeup on. But yeah, going back to the Marvel diffuser, there's no way they could have... What made the Thanos moment where he kills Gamora so special for me, because there's no way of diffusing that. There's no... What's Red Skull going to crack a joke about it? No way. Absolutely no way. And yeah,
But did you like that part too, that he had to sacrifice something that he loved to obtain the Soul
that
Stone?
was very cool.
Yeah.
I thought that was very neat.
No one was saying that.
No.
No. So I like that part, that they went back to something that...
Yeah, it wasn't a gem hidden somewhere like Raiders of the Lost Ark or whatever. It's on some temple or whatever. It's something more mystical than that. Something that you have to... Yeah, there's a bit more to it. As for the rest of the humour, it's fine.
The Guardians with Thor, I thought was hilarious.
Yes, that one worked. That was
just all joke. That was joke.
It's a comedy scene.
Yeah.
It's not a serious scene with the diffuser in there. It's what is it? Thor's being real tough and everything. He's got the guns out using his big deep voice, and then Quill tries to take charge by putting on his deep English sort of voice.
And Rocket says that he's like one sandwich away from being fat. That's hilarious.
There's just enough Rocket in this for me, you know, because in the other ones when he's really laughing and really like, taser face, I took his eye, and laughing, that shits me. I was like, shut the fuck up, you fucking raccoon. But there's none of that in this one, so I was like, okay, this is just enough Rocket for me in this one, saying like, you're just one sandwich away from being fat, you know? That's what I like. That's what I like my Rocket as.
And the Spider-Man I enjoyed too. He's still continuing with those movie references, which I always love.
You remember that really old movie? And he was talking about aliens.
Yeah.
I was like, is that?
He says if the alien comes out of his thing and kills someone, he's going to apologize now. And he also mentions Footloose. He's like, isn't it still the greatest movie ever? He's like, no,
it's
never
was. Never the greatest movie ever.
And then he mentions Flash Gordon as well.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Overall, the best parts of the movie is seeing the characters interact with each other. I mean, that's the great stuff. When you see like Spider-Man chatting with Doctor Strange, and the crossovers that you never sort of see come. Spider-Man talking to Star-Lord, like, that never sort of happens. And Star-Lord talking to Iron Man and that sort of thing. And then there's the whole Gamora run. Where is Gamora? Who is Gamora? Why is Gamora? That's pretty. Finally, Drax is being the guy who doesn't, get references? Not references, just doesn't understand the English language completely yet. I think that's a return to what his character originally was. In the second Guardians, he's more or less the weird sexual guy. I mean, if you've seen the honest trailer of it, they talk about how weird Drax become, and he wasn't just the person who doesn't understand euphemisms and metaphors anymore. He's just talking about nipples and talking about his parents having sex or whatever, and like, that's a bit weird. That's going off character, but they brought him back to being sort of normal again. I think his motivation changed as well, because in the first Guardians, he's saying Ronan the accuser killed his family, right? Yep. That's what he was saying.
Yeah.
And now he's saying in this one that Thanos killed his
that's
family.
what he says at the end of the first Guardians.
Oh, okay.
He says, Ronan did it, but it was really Thanos. Oh. So now I need to kill Thanos.
Oh, okay, I'll read you now. I thought they were just sort of changing the story as whatever suited his motivation. But
what do you think of Thor's new axe hammer?
Axe hammer?
Stormbreaker.
I'll tell you.
The Groot handle?
The Groot handle. I thought that was really cool because... on the PlayStation 3 or 2, I can't remember, there was a game called Marvel Ultimate Alliance, and it was the ultimate version of Thor, where he had the axe hammer.
Right.
So that's the Thor that I was most familiar with.
Okay.
Because the Thor with the Mjolnir, just the hammer and the red cape and the
wings.
And the wings on his head, but he doesn't wear in the movie. But I was always familiar with the Thor with the Stormbreaker, because he didn't have the cape or anything. He's the ultimate version. So it's him using that axe hammer again and using it for the first time. I thought it was good and bad. So at the end of Ragnarok, I was really on board with him not needing a hammer to be the god of lightning. He was just 100% Raiden from Mortal Kombat, whipping some ass. But now they're saying, oh, well, he needs to get something.
Needs to level up.
Needs to level up. Who said that?
I did.
Needs to level up.
I did.
You said? Oh, that's a great original joke. needs to level up. But I love that he's got the thing again, and this is Milner times 1,000 because it's the God Killer, I think he calls it, or something like that. Well, it reminded me of Wonder Woman, the God Killer, and it can be a rainbow bridge, right?
Yeah,
you can use it to teleport all over the place. Like, man, this fucking
Bifrost, isn't it?
Yeah, the Bifrost bridge or whatever. It has the potential to be a Bifrost, so that's pretty cool. It's like, man, this hammer's got everything, and it's gonna kill Thanos.
Yep.
But as they were building it, which brings me to my biggest problem with the movie is when they go to the dying star and you see the giant dwarf.
Yeah,
the giant what's his name?
Giant dwarf.
Yeah, what's his name in Days of Future? The giant Gyrick. Is his name Gyrick? Or
it's a Trask.
The giant Trask. That looked weird to me. I thought, what is this guy? Because they're talking about, we've got to go to the fallen star and see the dwarves, and the dwarf is just a dwarf giant. I thought, that's a bit hokey. Could they not have done something different to that? What did you think of that scene? Were you on board? I was like, yeah, giant dwarf,
yeah,
no hands, making weapons.
I thought it was just a joke. Yeah, it was a big joke.
Oh yeah, didn't ruin the movie for me, but it was a bit jarring, a bit off-putting. I was like, is that what you got? Was the effects budget that cheap? We said to get Peter Dinklage on a green screen and then scale him up and make him the forger of all these weapons? Because I thought that was a bit too weird. Got a few accidental laughs as well because he's such a famous. Yeah, he's very famous for Game of Thrones and everything. So that scene was a bit weird for me.
The other thing about the big session I was in, as soon as Cap come on screen, there was a big cheer come up.
A cheer for Cap?
Yeah. You know how he walked out of the shadow?
Out of the shadows.
Yeah. There's a big cheer in the crowd. I was like, oh, rightio. Yeah. People came for Cap.
I wasn't that excited to see him.
No,
were you?
No, it was a good reveal, but yeah, it wasn't cheer-worthy. Yeah, but yeah, big cheer in the first.
I thought it was interesting in that, like, in the trailers, they led you to believe that he was just hanging in the shadows in Wakanda.
Yeah.
And get this man a shield. And I thought they were going to do that, but the trailers, they spin it any way they want. So he was actually revealed in is it Germany? Or some sort of...
Yeah, it was somewhere in
some European,
Europe,
some European country where Vision and... Scarlet Witch have been hanging out for several months and being lovers and that sort of thing. And banging. I try to phrase it nicely. And they've been boning down as Vision's figured out how to turn himself into human form.
He's evolving.
And be more human. Is that what they were saying? He was evolving?
Yes.
So he's evolving to be more thing or whatever.
What did you think of the Banner in the Hulk Buster Iron Man suit, and then he didn't bust out as Hulk, as there was been in a lot of the toys.
A lot of the toys show him busting out as
Do you reckon
Hulk.
It was left on the cutting room floor, or was it just a red herring or something like that?
I think that there was I'm sure it would have been either cut during production or they're saving it for number 2.
Yeah.
Because it would have been a great visual aesthetic, right?
Yeah.
Hulk busting out of the Hulkbuster armor.
Because we've come from Ragnarok where he was the Hulk for like 3 or 4 years or whatever it was.
I think about 2 years.
Yeah. So like, and now the Hulk fights Thanos, gets his ass kicked. I don't want to be Hulk no more.
Yeah.
So he didn't want to come out for the rest of the movie, which is an interesting thing to have where you're like, yeah, like there was that whole thing with Stark where Stark's like, you're embarrassing me in front of the wizards.
That's pretty funny.
But yeah, I thought that was a good demographic to have in the movie.
I mean, they're definitely going to save that then.
Yeah.
When Thanos is getting his ass beat down and everyone really needs the Hulk to come in and be the Hulk, I'm sure that's what they're setting up for. Hulk is going to be integral, or however you pronounce it, in beating Thanos. It's going, we need the Hulk, and then he's just going to bust out of something and start laying the smackdown on Thanos, and that's what's going to help him beat Thanos. Because, like we said, spoiler alert, in this film, Infinity War, the bad guy wins.
Yeah.
He does. His whole thing is, I could once I get all the gems, I can end it all with the snap of my fingers, which leads me, well, we'll go into that later, but what do you think of Thanos' motivation here? His whole reason for being bad, so to speak, is to Get rid of half the population of the universe so they don't go hungry.
Yeah.
How do you think? How do you like that one?
Yeah, I didn't mind it. I thought that was a different way of thinking, and yeah, I thought it was.
Yeah, it's different to the whole I just want to rule the earth sort of thing that everyone's going to have. And they're really... What's interesting about Marvel, they always show the other side, like what they've done with why the bad guys are doing what they're doing with. I think of Spider-Man. Vulture was only doing what he's doing to keep his company and his co-workers employed so they don't go broke or lose their house to mortgage or whatever. There's a reason for him being bad. Whereas every other villain, let's say all the DC villains, they're more or less being bad because they want to be bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing because I was on Team Thanos. I was like, yeah. So long as I'm not dying when you click your fingers, you've got a lot of logic behind this. You're not really being bad just to be bad because you want to rule the world and anything. You're just trying to save it in a pretty sort of genocidal, genocidal light way.
I did get told the other day, by the way, there is some website you can go to, punch in your name, and it tells you whether you died.
I don't want to find out. Have you seen all the memes on
Which ones?
about the finger click of all the famous characters that are sort of turning away?
No,
I think there's a
that.
Shrek 4 reference.
All
It's
right.
like, Donkey, I don't feel so good, and you just see him floating away because that deals with a sort of different timeline. I think there was a Marty McFly one as well from Back to the Future. He's looking at his hand, and instead of it going transparent, it's sort of turning into ash. I thought, the internet is undefeated and still the funniest person.
Overall, I thought the movie was very balanced. I thought all the characters got enough. Like, there's so many characters, but they all seem to have enough screen time where you weren't like, hey, they didn't have much of him. Like, I thought they covered that really well. Do you think that was how it was had?
Well, like you said, it is very well balanced, I think, because everyone has a different favourite. They have to have X amount of time visited with these guys. But whose story was it really to be going against Thanos? I thought because we started with Thor, it was going to always be Thor's mission to take out Thanos.
Well, he says he's 1,500 years old and he's killed more than twice the amount of people, and he doesn't fear anyone because, he knows he's going to beat him.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that. But if that is the protagonist and Thanos is the antagonist, all these other guys that are popping up, do they really add to the story, or are they just there to be there so so audiences' favourites can say, hey, there's Black Panther doing his thing, there's Captain America doing his thing? Because I figure, take half of them out of this, it doesn't really affect Thanos' plan that much.
No.
I mean, the Black Panther stuff where they're trying to save Vision and Thor's just gone for a while. Yes, Thor's gone for a while because he's making the hammer, but it's really still Thor's mission to wipe out these people. And
that was one thing that was very jarring for me, was how they depowered Vision. Because in the last two movies, he was like unstoppable. All of a sudden he gets cut, and then, I can't phase through things. Yeah, he doesn't think to use his gem all the time, and it's like, come on, man, you were like unstoppable in the last movie we saw you in.
You were like the guy.
Yeah.
You got the super gem beam phasing through things, but they explain,
now he's in love. No.
His greatest weakness is a white woman. It's like, but they explain, the weapon is not letting me phase through shit.
Yeah.
Why don't you use your laser beam then? Why can't you've got other powers? They're just, they really nerfed him a fair bit in this one. And
what was it, like 2.5 hours?
Yeah, it's the longest one to date.
And it didn't feel like that. Sitting in the movie, there was no lulls though. There was no, this is a bit boring. Like when I watch Star Wars, there's always those parts where they'll go to a fucking
casino planet.
Yeah, or they'll go to a bloody meeting on trade federations, and you're like, fuck me, I got to take a piss now.
Where's the skip button?
Yeah, well, what's the time? I never looked at my watch to go, how much longer has this movie got to go, or something like that. It was just go, but not in your face. It was so well balanced. I thought that was the highlight.
Well, we talk about A and B storylines in X-Men.
Yeah.
Let's count them. There's Thor.
Yeah.
There's Cap and his team. Then they split off. There's the Guardians, and then there's Thanos and him.
There's Thanos looking for the stones,
And then there's
the
Tony Stark and Iron Man.
Yeah, and then there's his team, the Dark Order or whatever what they called. The
Knights of Ren. I don't know what the fuck it's called. The Brotherhood of Evil Mutants.
Yeah, you got them. So there's that many.
So there's about 6.
Yeah.
Normal move, there's 2 and maybe a third one. So the storyline, it goes like a writing tip is once the A plot has reached its peak of interest, go to the B plot. And once it's reached its peak of interest, go back to the A plot where you need it to go. So it's like, meanwhile, back at the farm, that's what you go between the 2. But you've got 6 now that you can jump between. So by the time you're wondering, where's Thor at? They cut back to Thor. And it's like, here he is. And then it goes, well, where's Doctor Strange at? Oh, well, there he is. So that's why it feels like it's moving really, really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're up to Wakanda.
Yeah.
So they take Vision to Wakanda, and then I'm like, see, this is what I thought they were going to do. They're going to get that soul gem out of him.
Yeah.
And then she's like, she goes, how come you didn't do this to put the Mind Stone in? Yeah. He's like, because we didn't think of it.
We didn't think of it.
Yeah.
That's a good reading.
Banner
that was really cool.
But yeah, it didn't happen again. Didn't have enough time to do it because, they need to get rid of that Vision.
Thanos knocking on the door. Well, it wasn't Thanos, it was his Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, his Injustice League squad. Knocking on I can't remember what they're fucking called. That scene, the siege on Wakanda, when the big force field is over.
Yeah.
And then the forces
Bit Phantom Menace for you.
You know exactly.
Expect Jar Jar to show up.
We say we're gonna die. It's like, that just felt like Phantom Menace to me, except it's not androids, it's 4-armed Goro type creatures.
And they didn't walk through it.
They didn't. You know what I mean? Man, what was next? They just could have had the giant. Did you saw Black Panther, yeah?
Yeah.
I half expect the giant rhinos to start coming back, and they would be like the giant chickens that the Jar Jars were riding on. What's Jar Jar's race of people called again?
The Gungans.
The Gungans. I thought they were going to be riding on their big chickens or whatever. But yeah, I was drawing a lot of parallels. Like, I've seen this before.
Yeah.
Where have I seen this before?
So Thor showing up there, that was a standout for me.
I think whenever Thor shows up with lightning, it's like, yes, get them all, Thor.
I tried to write down one of the lines. Oh, Banner's like, you guys are so screwed now. And then Cap's like, you got a new haircut? And he's like, I see you copied my beard.
So you copied my beard.
And then Groot's like, I am Groot. And he's like, I am Steve Rogers.
Do you think it was cool? We're jumping all over the place. Don't worry. The people who've seen the movie can keep up. When Thor sees Groot and he says, I am Groot, and he understands him.
Yeah.
I took Groot as an elective. You're kidding. But it could only work with Thor because of the comedy in Thor Ragnarok.
He's 1,500
years old. What do you think about Thor getting the robot eye and losing the eye patch?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think they're just like, we can't have Chris Hemsworth looking ugly.
Yeah, he's running into shit on set. He can't see. He's got no depth perception. To me, like in Thor Ragnarok, he loses his long hair. Mm-hmm. He's already starting to look normal and average now. And then he gets the eye patch. Like, okay, he's starting to look
more like Odin.
More like Odin. Cool, mystic. He's got a little thing about him. And then Rocket gives him the spare eye. Now he's looking normal again, except he's got a robot eye. I thought that would have exploded as soon as he turned on the electricity.
Yeah.
The electricity's coming from within him. And when he's holding open the thing, that would have burned him out. But, I didn't like that bit. Just keep him with the eye patch on. Go back to characters that I enjoyed in this that I didn't like in the other films. Right. Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Did you see Doctor Strange?
Yeah.
What do you think of Doctor Strange?
I didn't know anything about Doctor Strange going into the movie. So I left it open and went... I didn't go to Doctor Strange and watch that in the theaters. Nah. It didn't interest me. So I just caught that when it came out on Blu-ray. So, I could take Doctor Strange or leave him.
Because, see, I feel the same way. To me, he's like Hulk. He's good as a supporting character to bounce off people, but by himself, he was a bit of a ball. But in this, I was digging him.
Yeah.
Everything he's doing, all that quirky sort of shit, and way he's talking to people, I was like, man, I can get behind this. This magic
with a kick.
And people's like calling him the Wizards. Yeah, I'm on board with this. This is fun. This is everything. But when it's by himself, it's like, Not for me.
Yep.
He's good as a supporting character. So I'd much rather see him team up with Spider-Man or bounce off Iron Man in future films, because him by himself wasn't that great. So I was digging him in this one.
So there was no Hawkeye and no Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Now Ant-Man's coming out next. Now I want to see Ant-Man.
You want to see Ant-Man?
Yes. Now I need to know what's going on.
Because of Ant-Man himself, or because of the events in Infinity War?
Because of the events, yes. See, I like that idea that something happens in a movie that affects the next couple of movies.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good idea. Like that.
The ripple effect.
Yeah, so you're saying like that Doctor Strange, I didn't want to go see it. If Doctor Strange was after an event that happened in Age of Ultron that you're like, whoa, okay, now I need to go see Doctor Strange to see what's going to happen. I like that idea. I think that's good filmmaking.
It's a good way to get butts in seats.
Yeah.
But did you like the first Ant-Man?
No, the same thing with Ant-Man. I'm like, yeah, take Ant-Man or leave him. I waited for Blu-ray for that one as well.
But that came after Age of Ultron, but there was no big hook
No.
to see Ant-Man. If Age of Ultron ended in a similar way to Infinity War with a big what happens next, it probably would have got more people to go see Ant-Man. But I think Ant-Man did. It's like the third lowest box office draw of all of them. I think Incredible Hulk's the first one.
Yeah.
The first worst one. Then it's first Avenger, and then it's Ant-Man. I think because Ant-Man's coming off the heels of Infinity War, it's definitely going to boost sales and going to explain what happens on Earth.
Yep.
I mean, is all this stuff happening with Ant-Man and what's happening concurrent with the events of Infinity War, or is it a couple weeks before?
Right.
I wager it's a couple weeks before.
You reckon?
I think so. And I don't know. It should be interesting to see, but I don't really want to see Ant-Man and Wasp. I mean, all the action and stuff was going to be cool or whatever.
The latest trailer came out yesterday.
When he gets big on the van and does all that shit.
And he's sitting there talking to Lawrence Fishburne, and they're talking about how big they get.
The fish. Do you call him the fish?
The fish? No, I don't call him the
Who
fish.
calls him the fish? Either way, it's a pretty cool nickname. But yeah, I don't think it's going to explain too much about what happens in Infinity War. Maybe the post-credit scene, or maybe the last.
Hot takes from
Here we go.
Bender here.
Here's my early predictions for Ant-Man Wasp. It's gonna happen a couple of weeks before the events of Infinity War.
Right.
And right at the end, once all the things have been figured out, the huge spinning wheel might appear in New York, and Ant-Man will say, "Oh, let's get out of here."
Right.
He'll want to have nothing to do with it. He'll
All
be
right.
like, "Nah, we got some shit to do over in Kentucky or whatever."
Because the whispers online now is that it's going to be Hank Pym and Stark are going to be the ones that are going to be able to do some sort of time travel to go back. That's one of the theories being flown around at the moment. What do you reckon?
Have you seen any of the leaked sneaky on-set photos of the new Avengers?
I saw one where there's old Cap, and he's got something on his wrist.
I've seen the one where there's old Cap, classic Cap,
Yeah.
and classic Thor
Right.
in New York.
Yep.
I think they're going to travel back to Loki's first invasion.
Okay.
And it's going to be, Back to the Future 2 when McFly sees McFly in the old town. It's going to be a whole bunch of that shit, I reckon.
Yeah.
They're going to be on the sidelines seeing themselves fight.
Okay, yeah.
And they'll be like, oh, we can't let...
Don't let him see him.
Don't let him see him. That's that sort of thing. Don't let old Thor see new Thor. They'll lose their minds or whatever.
Right, so it's not going to be like Hot Tub Time Machine where they go back in time and they're in their old bodies.
No, it's not going to be like that at all.
Not
I don't
that
think.
version
It's
of
gonna,
time travel.
it's not going to be that version of time travel. It's going to be what did I just reference? Back to the Future version of time travel. That's going to be what's up. But
Doctor Strange said he went forward in time. There was 14,605 combinations. Only one they won.
Yeah.
Are they running with that? Is that why he gave the time stone to him? Because that was part of...
That's part of the plan.
You reckon that's part of the plan?
Because right before Doctor Strange dies, he says something like, "This was the only way."
Yeah.
He knows.
Right.
He's done... Otherwise, he wouldn't have involved Peter Quill in the plan.
Yeah.
Because the whole plan was they all ambush Thanos, make sure he doesn't close his fist.
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Iron Man. Who else was there? Peter Quill.
Yeah.
Gamora was there? No, she's dead.
No, it was Drax.
Drax.
Mantis.
And yeah, it was a pretty good plan.
Yep.
Lay a smack down on him. Mantis jumps on his back, makes him go to sleep. Again, if you haven't seen Guardians 2, you don't know what she's doing.
Yeah.
So they've got Spider-Man and Iron Man is pulling on the gauntlet, trying to get it off, and Thanos is trying to wake up, and Star-Lord fucks up the plan by saying, "Where is she? She's dead." And they go, "Yeah, no," starts laying back down. What's Star-Lord think he's going to do anyway? And then they screw up the plan. So Doctor Strange would have known that was going to happen because he's seen it happen.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's all going to be revealed later on.
So moving towards the end of it. So Thor comes in, big hammer shot, bang into Thanos' chest.
Should have cut my head off.
Should have gone for the head. Click.
Yeah.
Do you like that?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That was a wow moment for me. Oh wow, that was cool.
Well, he's still not dead. Is that what you were wearing? Yeah.
So I like that bit. The other thing I liked was he used most of the stones. So
yes.
you see him use the Power Stone, you see him use Tesseract to go through time. Through space. Yeah, he uses the Time Stone at the end to go back. He doesn't use the Mind Stone, but he only gets that at the end. Used the Reality Stone with the Collector.
Yep.
Soul Stone. Did you use Soul Stone? I don't really know what the Soul Stone does because we've never seen
people
it before.
back to life.
Yeah, something like that. So yeah, we haven't seen that yet. But yeah, I did like that point as well, that he uses all the stones.
Yeah, that was pretty neat. The Tesseract Stone where he creates the portal. Those portals look really cool. Like, to me, the badass shot where he did it's in all the trailers. The portal opens up and he just steps through like a boss. I was like, oh yeah, that's a menacing cat right there.
And there was also like he's got all of his armor on to start the movie.
Yeah, he starts...
as he gets more stones, I think he's feeling more confident. Yeah. Starts taking it off. I don't need this shit. I got this, man.
Yeah, I don't. He takes off the helmet, takes off the shoulder pads, takes off all the armor. Interesting scenes for me is where the flashback when he's killing Gamora's people and he teaches her how to use the knife.
Yep.
That's the sort of like really cool. Like, okay, we're setting up Thanos. He really likes this girl because he's adopted her. He really wants her to be the daughter. When he's torturing the blue one.
Yeah. The blue one.
Nebula. Now, it's the front-on shot and she looks like she's just suspended in air. Then the camera angle changes.
Yeah.
And you see she's
pulled apart
like a goddamn accordion. I'm like, oh, shit. Thanos doesn't give a damn about this one. And I thought that was terrible. But yeah, that's how she finds the stone. Other cool scenes when Gamora is killed. That's badass. A smackdown between Thanos and Hulk. That was really cool.
Okay, next big question.
Yep.
Everyone all ashed. Are they dead or have they taken them somewhere else? Are they in a different dimension? Are they in the quantum realm? Are they dead? What do you reckon?
I think they're dead. Well, that's what the story requires, and I think that'll help bring the budget down of the next Infinity War continuation down a bit, and it'll just be a smaller group of Avengers trying to go back in time and fix this. I think for the meantime, they're dead. And they'll either come back because they're going back in time or because we'll see them again right at the end because they're just from a filmmaking budget standpoint, there needs to cull down some of the team because there's just too many of them.
Right.
But,
I watched the movie with Lawley, and then when they cut to Thanos at the end.
In the Philippines.
He's sitting there. Yeah. He goes, what is he, a farmer now? What's he going to do? He's just going to retire to a farm?
He's going to farm rice. That's exactly what Thanos said he was going to do when it's all said and done. I'm going to sit there and I'm going to smile. I thought, oh, yeah, they nailed it. Also, note that this is the first Marvel film that doesn't have the classic end credits titles sequence.
Right.
It's just their names. Their names because like it's a big game changer. It's not a big uplifting moment anymore. It's not a big successful music. It's just a real somber tone as the credits are rolling. It's like, oh, I feel down.
It was a big shock. It was like, wow, they're all dead.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, okay, shit.
So how are they going to wrap this up? Boom, the movie's finished. They're not going to wrap this up.
Yeah. And then you're like, there's one post-credit scene. Do you want to go into that now?
Yeah, sure.
So
I can't remember it.
We get the one.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm on
One post-credit scene. And then we've got, what's her fucking name?
Maria Hill.
Maria Hill.
And
I
Fury.
always forget her.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're
Colby
in.
Smulders.
And then people are starting. That's all I just think. Robin Shabbat's. That's all I say. It's Robin. Yeah, you know.
See, I only think of her actress name because it sounds like a character's name, Colby
Right.
Smulders. Yeah, is it her name, Colby Smulders?
Yes,
it is. Yeah,
Yep.
that's definitely a character name. Like, that's not a real name.
So yeah, they're in a car in some sort of city,
Mm.
and so everyone starts ashing and shit.
Yeah, helicopter crashes.
So Fury grabs for the pager,
It's a pager, a beeper.
and so he presses sending.
His hand sent Ash and he goes, mother.
He almost gets a motherfucker in there.
Oh, if they got that, it would have been
Almost.
the greatest movie ever.
And then we see Flash. You got the red, the blue, and the star. So
It's Ms. Marvel. It's
Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
So they're saying that Captain Marvel movie's going to be in the 90s.
90s, that's right.
So where has she been?
She's been in a coma. We've
She's
seen
been
it.
in a coma?
Been in a coma because
Froze her
Rogue's
up?
got a power. Imagine that. I imagine she's deep underground in a bunker because her powers are too powerful to police the world, and Fury's got her in the bunker. Why else would he have 90s technology like a pager to call her back to the world?
Right.
So to me, that's more interesting sequel or a continuation to the story than, say, Ant-Man and Wasp. So I'd be more keen to see what they do with Ms. Marvel. But in the end, I'm really just eager to see what happens in Avengers.
Okay, so Avengers 4. What's it called?
Avengers Fall, The Quickening. I don't know. End game. I don't know. It'd probably be something to do. I don't know. I couldn't. You got any potential titles?
Infinity War Part 2.
Well, that's the logical place for it to go.
I'd love if they did that. Oh, we can't tell you because it's going to be a spoiler. Infinity War Part
Part
2.
Well, I hope it's named that. That just makes more sense. Why would you name it something different? Because that may re-affect the rewatch value 20 years in the future. Which one's the first one? Infinity War or Bethlehem? Or The Quickening? I think it's The Quickening. They put in The Quickening and everybody's dead. So, well, this doesn't make sense. It must be Infinity War. I hate how they don't number the movies. I really don't like that.
All right.
Because we have seen them and we know what order they come
Yeah.
up. 20 years, they're not going to know. Kids aren't going to know. They're going to pop in Thor Ragnarok and it's like, oh, why is he missing an eye? He's got all his hair back. And then they put in Thor Dark World. Where's this supposed to fit in? Do I watch it in order of movie or
You don't
order
watch
of release?
Thor Dark World. You
Yeah,
just
well,
don't watch
you
that,
just
okay?
don't watch
Don't
that
worry
one.
about it.
I don't watch Ant-Man.
All right, I think I've got a list of everyone here that
Mm-hmm.
you want to go through with me. So in the dead column, we've got
Oh, wow.
Heimdall,
Yeah.
Loki, Gamora.
Mm.
Then there's Vision, Black Panther, Scarlet Witch, Bucky, Falcon, and Groot.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was Star-Lord, Drax, Mantis, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, and then Agent Maria Hill, Nick Fury.
Mm.
Then you got the alive ones. So you got, what's her name? The bald Wakandan chick.
Well, let's just go with bald.
You got her. You got old M'Baku,
M'Baku, I like him.
the other guy. Then you got Cap, Black Widow, War Machine, Thor, you got Banner and Rocket.
Mm.
And then Iron Man and Nebula are on Titan.
Mm-hmm. That's right, yeah.
So we didn't see Ant-Man Wasp or Hawkeye or Wong. Is Wong dead?
Yeah. Oh, you didn't see Wong in the Sanctum Sanctorium.
Or Shuri or whatever her name is,
Shuri,
the other chick. Or Pepper.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got like Valkyrie, Korg, and Meek and all them. Where are all they?
Mm. I don't think Valkyrie, Korg, and Meek, they're not going to be in Avengers Part 2.
And then you got Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel, she'll be in there. But I think everyone that's dead will stay dead, and everyone that's alive will be the rest of the team. But it will be interesting to see how they get Iron Man off.
How does Iron Man and Nebula get back? Is there a ship somewhere or...
I'm sure Nebula's got a remote control. Boop, 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 boop. How'd she get there? She teleport with him? She would have flown a plane in.
Yeah.
Jet. Spaceship.
I can't remember. I've only seen it once. I need to see it again.
Will you see it in the movies, in the cinemas again?
I don't know. It is a movie that I wouldn't... Like, if someone said, I haven't seen it, would you come with me? I'd definitely go with them and see it again.
Mm.
So, yeah, I wouldn't hesitate to do it again. Usually, I wouldn't go see a movie again in the cinemas.
Mm. Have you never seen a movie
No.
twice? You've never done that?
Never.
Jeez, really?
Really.
I saw Fury Road 4 times in the cinema.
I saw Fury Road once.
That was enough for
And
you.
that was enough.
Tell you what, I feel stupid. I saw Transformers Dark of the Moon 3 times in the cinema.
I saw the first Transformers and half of the second one. That was enough for me.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, man.
But yeah, sometimes I like going to cinema twice to see a good movie.
Yeah.
Like as much as you didn't like Fury Road, I really enjoyed it. That was a big screen experience for me. I don't think I've seen any of the Marvel films in the cinema more than once.
Right.
I don't know if I think I'd wait for a home release of Infinity War,
But it's so quick these days. Like, you don't have to wait 2 years for it to come out.
It's like 3 months or
Yeah.
fast track.
Like Ragnarok, it's already out.
Yeah, it's out. It's been out for so long.
That was March. That was like February. It was in the bloody cinemas.
But yeah, I mean, it was pretty good. Infinity War was pretty good.
Yeah.
Very well balanced, like you said. I think that what's really cool, the music was really good. Music was kick-ass compared to the... I think Ragnarok, first Avengers, and Captain America, and the first Iron Man had good music. The rest of them were more or less pretty much forgettable. But this one had some really cool music in it. The ones that weren't actual songs, so I couldn't afford them.
No, yeah, it was just all scored.
It's all beautifully scored by Alan Silvestri. That guy he's like...
What else does he do?
He's done Back to the Future, Forrest Gump,
Right.
Captain America, Predator, all the sort of John Williams-esque ones that you think, oh, that sounds John Williams, but different. It's him.
Right.
He does them all. He does like had a bunch of action movies. He did Racer as well and G.I. Joe, and he's just been that sort of guy that's been. I think he did Ready Player One. It's been like John Williams, but not as high on the pedestal or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, Infinity War. It's doing massive numbers in the States. It was the film.
I said it was going to be number one, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be number
it's
one.
going to be number one for. It hasn't even opened in China yet.
So Gamora in number one and number two biggest movies of all time. She's the golden goose.
She's the golden goose, the dead.
She just got a star on the Walk of Fame today.
Oh, really?
What's her name?
Zoe
something.
Sandala.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. But yeah, she did very well. I thought she was very good in this. I mean, she was like really the real turning point.
She's the female lead.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but the people that didn't really get much to do in Avengers were, I think, Cap, Falcon, Scarlett Johansson's character. What's she called? Black Widow. Never got Black
Natasha
Widow.
Romanoff.
Black Panther. I don't think him or
No.
he barely got a.
He was just at his house.
He's just being king.
He was hosting.
I mean, he might have done the salute once.
Yeah.
And get this man a shield. Low points in the movie. Have you got any, or is it just like really high on the?
No, there was no lulls. There was none of that where I just sat there and go, well, they didn't need this in, or like 6 people get up and take a piss, because there was
Everyone
none
was
of that.
glued to their seats. I imagine
For 2.5 hours, like that's hard to do.
Oh, it's very hard to do, especially for 2.5 hour movie.
I've never sat through a Star Wars and that happened. And I tell you, this new one, no way I'm going to see that. No chance. Get out of here. You ruined it with Rogue One. No way I'm going to see this bloody Solo thing.
Well, I'm not on board for Solo. There's nothing interesting in this one about me.
I'll go play pirate that shit so they get nothing out of it.
You're going to pirate your first movie just so Solo doesn't succeed.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, Solo does not look like it's going to be much. It's not going to tell me anything new I need to know about Solo. Seppo's got a phrase he says about characters and stories. They begin at where they do for a reason. And Solo, the first time you see Solo ever is when he's at the cantina. He's there for it. You don't need to see where he came from. Same with Boba Fett. You don't need to see where Boba Fett came. They're at their most interesting when you meet them for the first time. That's when you need to see them. I mean, yeah, Solo's... I'm not going to say it. Skip Solo. Pirate it. Do whatever.
Okay, so do you want to go through other upcoming Marvel movies?
I just got to hang shit on Infinity War. We talked about all the great stuff, and now I've got to talk about stuff that I thought was not up to scratch. Which hit you. Hit you. What to say? Again, which just characters that didn't have much to do. Did they need to be there? I mean, I've said to him, Scarlett Johansson's character.
But she doesn't do anything anyway. She doesn't have many superpowers.
Why can't she be on holidays with Hawkeye and Thingo? Does she need to be there other than giving some female presence? Falcon, he didn't do much. Cap,
He never does.
he should have done something more. He should have been more happening or whatever. And it's just as good as the pacing was, and all these epic scenes, moments and catchphrases and iconic lines. I can't really think of any other. Like Black Panther, he's got the biggest line for me. Get this man a shield.
That's because you've seen it 1,000 times in the trailer.
But in the movie, shouldn't there be big moments that you remember forever and ever, and big lines? Like, where's the I'll be back, or the Hasta La Vista babies, or the big, like Thor Ragnarok, the badass moments. Where are the big badass moments? In Thor Ragnarok, when he's coming down with the lightning and he stands up and the Led Zeppelin's playing, that's a big, iconic, badass moment. I mean,
well, they couldn't just do that again in this one.
Of course,
so
I'm not saying
they do a similar thing.
I'm not saying do that again, but they could have had, say, Cap do something like that again, or Iron Man do something like that, or Spider-Man do something similar, something that's really big and iconic and memorable. And that's what I think is pros and cons of having everything so balanced. Everything's like a flat line because everything's even. If there's a big high point, there's got to be a big low point to make the high point stand out.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And the balance seems to be a detriment to that. Worried about having everybody have an exact amount of screen time. Each character gets their own moment to shine, but no one shines higher than anybody else. Therefore, there's no favoritism.
Yep.
To me, that's where they probably should have picked or would have leaned towards maybe Thor being the guy a little bit more, so he could have a big, strong moment that is everyone will say, "Oh, what about that bit when he did that?" To me, all those big moments went to Thanos when he clicks his fingers. If I would say that the big memorable moments for me is when Thanos clicks the finger, and then that's the big moment. But none of the heroes had that big moment.
What about the big Thor come in and hit him right on the chest?
To me, that wasn't as good as Ragnarok and it's not as memorable because there's all other shit going on as well.
Right.
If the armies of Wakanda all got wiped out, and all the heroes got wiped out, and it's just Thanos walking towards Vision or whatever, reaching out, then it would have had that impact. And they thought, whoa, what about that time with Thor? But this is just me speaking for me. I'm not talking on behalf of planet Earth or anything. But for me, it didn't have that big, wow, what am I walking out of here with? It's just the shock and the lines.
The Soul Stone bit is pretty big.
That's pretty good, yeah.
That stands out.
Yeah, that stands out. Yeah, but it's the badass, the hero moment that seems to be lacking. And I think there should be memorable lines too. I think I'd love to hear like their equivalent of "Hasta La Vista, baby" or "I'll be back" or whatever. You know, Adrian, I did it. When you like me, when we're quoting movies together, we're quoting stuff. I don't think we could quote anything from Infinity War that could apply to anything we're talking about.
Right.
But yeah, that's just me having a little bit of a whinge because we talked it up a fair bit. We've got to speak on both sides. We can't just 100% like everything. I just thought those things could have been touched on.
Or 100% hate everything, like Solar.
Like Solar. That can be 100% hated on. Why is Shuri 160 years old and not the captain? What sort of sense does that make? Why is he taking orders for some 30-year-old kid probably crashed the Falcon anyway? He should be the captain.
Yep.
And why change the character's backstory like that? Shouldn't there be grey in his
Stop
fur?
talking about. Stop talking. It's terrible.
All right, we won't be talking. This is not Generation Star Wars, Generation X-Men. We haven't talked any X-Men for the last 40 minutes anyway. But anyway, next Marvel movie news. This will definitely have to be its separate video.